Very good afternoon and welcome to Racing International. We head out to Laval today where we've got 9 races on the card and we're racing on the classic track for the second time, which is the third track, turf track out there. Well, let's have a look. I've just checked now. The penetrometer 21 looks good for racing. And I must say, last week on Thursday when we had our first race meeting there, the feedback from the jockeys were very even right across the track, especially up the 1,000 metres. But once you go around the turn, the 12 and beyond that, you certainly need inside draws help. But I will say this, if your horse is good enough with 1,000 metres straight, you should be able to win from just about anywhere. All right, let's get stuck straight into it. The first on the card today is a maiden juvenile plate for the 2-year-old fillies up the straight of 1,000 metres. Now, I'm not going to do this in any order because there's quite a few first-timers and nicely bred individuals, but I am going to mention number 9, Levy Lady. This has got a bit of form behind it, 3 runs under the belt, been well fancied in its last 2 outings, hasn't been finishing far behind, only a length, and last time out and running fourth, only just over a length and a half. Now, it's priced up at 8 to 1, so it's got the experience under the belt, but we've got a few first-timers nicely bred, and number 16, Star of Caesar, the Australian bred, and gee, they're doing well at the moment from the powerful Sean Terry stable. We couldn't get a comment, but Samunga Kamalo jumps aboard, and this one's drawn on the outside, bit firm in the market at 7 to 2. Number 7, Flaming Mad. Well, it's found a bit of support into 33 to 10. Very expensive baby, 1.2 million at the yearling sale. So watch out for this one. Well-bred individual as well. Now, there's a bit of a comment about my fourth selection, which is number 5, Dutch East India. Young Murray the Apprentice doesn't claim here from the Jeff Woodruff stable. Now, Jeff gave us a comment saying, probably looking for further down the road, but wouldn't leave it out of the trifectas and quartets. Well, it's firm in the market as well, 9 to 2. An open-looking race. Just keep an eye on the markets. Race 2 in the card is a maiden plate and it's over the 1,800 metres. Now I'm going with the 5 here from the Jeff Woodruff stable. I liked that run last time, got well out of its ground, having its 7th career start today and actually ran on very strongly over the 1,700. Won't have a problem with the trip here and I'm looking for good improvement here. Dangers in the race will certainly come from number 1, Sheet Weaver. Mowing jumps aboard. Now this is your odds-on favourite at 9 to 10. Is drawn out a bit wide in barrier 11. We'll have plenty of time down the back straight to find a decent position, but one of those horses, keep finding a horse to beat it. It's had 5 runs, 4 seconds and a third, so a bit of a bridesmaid, well overdue, was odds-on favourite last time and was only beaten just over a quarter of a length. Number 3, Desert Sunset, Wesley Mowing at 11 to 2. Now, and put up my 4 selection, please, Querbus, as well. Now, both these horses come out the same form line. There wasn't much to choose between them. I'm leaning towards number 3 to finish in front. Drawn nicely in barrier 5. Likes to race up there nice and handy. So those and my second selection also out of the similar form line. Had a run in the yielding going last time. That was over the 1,600 metres and actually stayed on pretty well, only going down a length. So looks a pretty open race. Your short price favourite is number 1, Sheet Weaver. Here we go, race 3 on the card. It's over the 1,200 metres. Now, it's around the turn, so it helps to have a decent draw. And number 2, Royal Regatta, drawn nicely in 2 as well, priced up at 2 to 1. So there's all the 2s. Might be a bit of an omen there, and certainly put up a good gallop last time when coming from draw 9 out of 9, but that was up the straight. Hit the front at the 400. We thought was going to go and win. Only got caught late, going down a quarter of a length. I think he can go one better today. Number 3, Star Trek, priced up at 5 to 1, Sherman Brown. Now this is from a very small stable, but it did show good improvement last time. The form hasn't been franked yet, but it stayed on pretty well at big odds last time. There was a bit of outside money when they backed it in from 50s into 40s and might go a one bet. I don't know if it can win it, but I think it'll be right there. Number 5, Relish, Andrew Fortune having its 3rd run back from rest. He doesn't often ride for the Devon Little stable, and Devon Little certainly an underrated trainer in my eyes. This one's been well fancied in its last 2 starts, a little disappointing last time, but did miss the start. If it gets away on terms, certainly can fight out the finished. Now, I put in a first time as well. Watch out for 11 here from the Jeff Woodruff stable. Certainly a well-bred individual, currently priced up at 4 to 1. Watch out for market moves there. Race 4 on the card is over the 1,200 metres. We're around the turn again, and this is a maiden plate for the fillies and the mares. And number 1, Winter Breeze, Striker Stratum, good to see him back in the irons. Certainly a top rider, drawn nicely in barrier 5. Now, looking at its form, it's got a bit of early speed, always up the handy, and certainly wasn't disgraced last time when only going down quarter of a length. It was always running in second, just couldn't get past the one in front. All right, number 2 as well, must have a chance from the Erico Verdini stable. No winners out of those form lines, but hasn't been finishing too far behind. Lightly raced, only having its 5th career start today. I thought number 12 as well might be worth considering here with Chase Majan aboard for the Jeff Woodruff stable. Now, it's only had the one start. Chase rode it on an occasion, and I thought that was a decent first up effort. Was always raced handy and moved up, hit the front, and it just got a bit tired late. So look for more improvement there, but is unfortunately drawn a bit wide in barrier 11. Thought number 13, Sterling Heights, with Andrew Fortune riding for the Lucky Hudalaka stable, priced up at 6 to 1. Now it's drawn out in the bush in barrier 15. Nicely bred individual. Keep an eye on the market moves there. As I said, priced up at 6 to 1. Race 5 on the card is for the fillies and mares, and it's a 92 handicap. 1,200 metres once again. We're going around the top turn, and I thought number 3, Eloquence, could be a reasonable bet here. Hoping we get around 7 to 2, 4 to 1 for this one, with the top apprentice jockey, Lyle Hewitson jumps aboard, claims the 2.5 off the back, and certainly brings it in with a nice galloping weight now, 52 kilos, also drawn well in barrier 4. It is having its second run after rest, but I think it'll strip a lot fitter today, only finished just over 4.5 lengths when making its return to the track. Tahini, well, we've tipped this to you a few times, and it's got up to win its last 2 races, but it has picked up a 4.5 kilo penalty for those last 2 wins. Still, it's a favourite today at 18 to 10 with Samunga Kamalu aboard, certainly in top form and hard to leave it out. But I thought number 9 as well. That could be a bit of a runner here from the Stanley Ferreira stable. Nicely bred individual and found betting support last time when going off at 15 to 4. Was a little disappointing there, but there was reported after the race it did hurt its mouth during running. Now, the eye-catching run there was behind Carry On Ellis, who's a multiple Group 1 winner 2 starts ago, finished third, only beaten 4 3/4 now. If it can bring that form with that lightweight of 52.5, certainly comes into consideration. Number 6 here, First Dance, the Australian bred from the Paul Peter stable. Here's the comment at 20 to 1. He said, working well, and in his opinion, can finish in the first 3 from a good draw in barrier 1. So note that, 20 to 1, worth including in those trifectas. Race 6 on the card is a merit-rated 86 handicap. 1,000 metres, we're back up the straight here, and I'm going with a horse that's got a very good record over this sort of trip. Number 1, Jade Bay, used to be with the Dom Zaki stable, and he handed his licence back in, and now it's gone to the Scott Kenny stable. It's had a few runs for him, and that run 2 starts ago behind Gunfighter, who's in this race, was a cracking effort when only going down by 3/4 length. Has got a little bit of a breathing problem, but gets Lyle Hewitson aboard today, who claims 2.5 off the back and brings it in. Still a bit of weight, 60.5, but has earned that in its career and drawn on the outside in barrier 10. Bit of odds at the moment, drops down in class, currently priced up at 10 to 1. Number 6 looks a bit of a danger here as well. Manx Park, pretty consistent, runs well over this trip, never too far away, and certainly worth considering. For the trifectas, I can't leave out Gunfighter. It's holding form nicely, comes out of the same form line with Jade Bay, going back 2 starts ago, and certainly needs to be considered. Drawn on the opposite side of the track, though, in barrier 3. All right, I popped in number 10 as well if you're looking for another one, Magic, who's been pretty honest, and the blinkers go back on today. Bit of value here at 8 to 1. Had a runner against Gunfighter going back 2 starts ago and only went down just over 1/4 of a length and slightly better off at the weights today. Race 7 on the card is over the 1,450 metres. It's a merit-rated 68. Looks an open-looking race here, but I'm going with TJR, the Australian bred from the Jeff Woodruff stable. Jared Penny's been aboard it a couple of times and hasn't been finishing that far behind. I think it's a very open race here. You can pick from 4 or 5 in this race. It is drawn a bit wide, though, in barrier 10. Certainly number 6, Crimson Magic, drawn in barrier 7, priced up at 6 to 1. Callan Murray, the leading apprentice at the moment, doesn't claim here. A little disappointing with that run last time. I'm going to forgive her for that and certainly include in a very open race. 5, Zen Master. Well, I thought it was a pretty good run winning last time after the gelding. It's that first run out the maidens, always a bit of a worry there, but it's drawn nicely in barrier 4 and is quite firm in the market now at 7-2. All right, if you're looking for one more, then number 2 won yesterday. Now, she's a 5-year-old mare, but she's still going okay. She's won twice over the distance from 6 starts, but she did pick up a big penalty 2 starts ago, a 4-kilo penalty, and I give her a little bit of each way chance here with top jockey Samunga Khumalo jumping aboard. Race 8 on the card is a merit-rated 68 handicap over the 1,450 metres. And number 3 was a Madoda. A little each-way value here. Nice bet, 9-2, drawn in barrier 8. Certainly been well fancied in its last 3 outings. I was a little disappointed with that run last time over the 1,700, but might have been just a touch far. Now they're bringing it back to the 1,450. I think will be well suited here. Number 2, Golden Gun, certainly not without a chance with top jockey Andrew Fortune. He jumps aboard. He's ridden it once before and actually won on it. That's going back quite a while ago in February. So he jumps back aboard. It's been pretty consistent, hasn't done too much wrong, and gets a decent draw in barrier 5. Number 1, Analyze This. Brandon Arena jumps aboard, also drawn nicely, but it is second run after rest, and it's come pretty close. Only 7 days in between runs, but it was an encouraging comeback run last time. Also, if you're looking for another one, throw in the 5 with Randall Simons for the Terry Lowe stable. This one's certainly been knocking on the door. Has plenty of early gate speed, so draw 7 won't be a problem. Expect to be right up there on the pace. Race 9 on the card is a merit-rated 66 handicap. 2,000 metres, the journey we're going here, and number 7's the one we're liking. That's River Empress. 16-1, there you go. Big value bet there. Drawn a bit wide, though, in barrier 10. I don't think it'll matter over this trip of the 2,000 metres. Raymond Danielson rode it last time, and he advised Jeff Woodruff after the running that he needs to put it over a bit further. Last time was 1,700, got well out of its ground. It was giving him 11.5 lengths at the 400-metre mark and rattled home to only go down by 3. And I reckon it could be a little bit of each-way value. Cannon Cop number 4 from the Stanley Ferreira stable. Craig Zaki jumps aboard. Now, this one's drawn nicely in barrier 6. Having its 3rd run back from rest, should be cherry ripe today, and these two, I think, should fight it out. One Grazer Rocking also found a bit of market support at the moment, currently into 7-2 with Samunga Khumalo jumps aboard. Placed in its last 2 outings, only finished just under a length and a half behind last time over the 1,700 metres. Number 2, Shepherd's Warning Chase Majan. This one's priced up at 8-1. Now it's drawn in pole position in barrier 1. Won a merit rated 72 2 starts ago, only picked up a 1.5 kilo penalty, and its next run out ran another cracking run, was only 3 lengths behind, and certainly deserves to go into those trifectas and quartets. Yep, looks a nice competitive card. Our second running at the Classic Track, which is the 3rd of the 2 tracks at the Vale. 9 races on the card, very competitive. We're giving you hopefully a couple of nice each-way bets at decent prices. We're going to be putting up all our selections at our Twitter account at Racing in Tips. From myself, Rod McCurdy, and all the team, we wish you a very successful punting afternoon.